Hey yo, what's up my little coders? Let me show you today how to solve the Leetcode question number 20, valid parentheses. To be fair, it's a very popular question because I've been asked this question on the interviews. My friends been asked this question on the interviews as well. If you're preparing for the interviews, you really would like to learn how to solve this question properly because in one day you might be asked to implement it as well. And what we need to do, guys, basically they give us the input string, which can only contain the characters such as parentheses or the braces or the squared brackets. This is the only characters which we will have inside the input string. And we need to return Boolean. And there are two rules. The first rule is the following. Open brackets must be closed by the same type of brackets. The second rule, open brackets must be closed in the correct order. A very small string, right? And these two brackets are of the same type. So we open with this bracket and we close with this one. They're valid, we just return true. We also can have them in this order, right? And in this case, we also need to return true. However, here's the example where we need to return false for the obvious reason, because these two brackets, like the opening one and the closing one, are not of the same type, so we just return false. Same as here. But also, we need to return true if, for example, we have basically the nested brackets. In the middle, we have like this kind of brackets. They're of the same type, that's good, but they're also surrounded by another type of brackets, and they also match. We just return false and we just return true in this case because it's also a valid string. To solve this question, we will need to use the stack, which is the data structure similar to like the stack of plates like in a kitchen. You can add or remove the plates from this stack only from the top. In order to reach the plate in the bottom, you need to first of all remove everything what is on top. So stacks, or simply speaking, last in, first out. And imagine that this is our input string which we have. It's a valid one. Imagine that we will iterate through this string, right? We start here at this character. We are here right now, right? If you see the open bracket, what if we just put it like inside the stack? This is the first value in our stack. Then after that, we will move to this character, which is also the open bracket. Let's also put this character inside our stack. Okay, we move to the next one, and we see that it's a closing bracket, but we're storing only the open brackets inside our stack. So if you see the closing bracket, we check what's the value on top of our stack, what's the last value which we have added. And if we see that like these types, like the type of the closing bracket and the type of the opening bracket in our stack, so the last value in our stack, if they match, if they're of the same type, we can just basically remove this value from our stack and move to the next one. Okay, let me remove it. We removed it and we moved to the next value. Again, that's the closing bracket. We just check basically the last value in our stack, which is this bracket, and we see that like, okay, they're of the same time, and in stack we have the opening one and here's the closing one, so we can also remove this one from our stack. Right now our stack is empty. Okay, let's move to the next one now. Again, the same thing. Okay, we see the opening bracket, we just added to our stack. Right now we have only one value inside our stack. Let's move on and let's move to the next character. Okay, again, they're of the same type. We have the opening one inside the stack. Here's the closing one. Okay, we can remove this value from the stack, and basically we reach the end of our input string and our stack is empty. So if by the end of all these operations, if in the end our stack is empty, it means that, okay, this string is valid and we just return true. In case if we will reach the end of our input string and our stack will not be empty, it means, okay, this string is not valid. This is basically how you solve this question. Let's just jump back to the code and implement it. Let's first of all create the stack. After that, let's iterate through all of the characters one by one. Okay guys, so imagine for now that the stack is not empty at the moment and somehow we already have added some opening brackets inside our stack. We're somewhere in the middle of the string, and let's check if the current character is, for example, the closing parentheses. In case if it is, it will mean that we also need to check what's the last value which has been pushed to the stack, but also before that, to avoid any possible exceptions, let's just check if the stack is not empty. And if it's also not empty, let's just check what's the last value which we have added to our stack. It will be stack.peak, the peak of the stack, the last value pushed. And if this stack.peak is basically equal to the opening parenthesis, it means that, okay, we definitely can remove it from our stack. So we can remove our last value from the stack, and we just do stack.pop. And we also will do exactly the same thing for two other different types of brackets. Let me just quickly code it. Okay, we did exactly the same thing for all of our types of brackets, but also we have the else case, and the else case will be where the current character is equal to the opening bracket, and in this case we just push it to our stack. So stack.push, we push the character. Then, as I already explained, if we iterate through the whole input string, and by the end our stack is empty, it means that, okay, this input string is a valid input string. We just simply return stack.isEmpty. And this is basically all that we need to do. Okay, let me run the code. Yeah, boy, and it works. Let me just submit now. Perfect, guys, 98.76%. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, Leetcode today keeps unemployment away. And guys, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video, guys. Good luck.